last 3 weeks, we have done a lot of talking, meetings, and basically, we all watch news closely. And every 5 hours, something changes. And it either gives you hope or it puts you in disparity. But the only thing we could do is actually keep our spirit up. Definitely, we created this particular group because we wanted to support girls, young girls who live in Hawaii. We know them very well from this time, and we knew that their family um, actually in some towns that are being more destroyed than others. So my family, from all like my classmates, my family, close relatives, all in one town. It's called Dnipro. And physically, it hasn't been destroyed much. It's actually been a center of volunteers and local local territory army. Like all our classmates, we know they joined the army, and everybody's been very patriotic and believing that they don't want to be part of Russia. They don't want to be with the Putin dictatorship. And for the last about 15 years, we enjoyed freedom of speech in Ukraine. And that was really what the new generation grew up. The new generation, which is kids of my classmates. Like I have two daughters, 34 and 24. They grew up in Hawaii, but all the other kids that I know, they grew up in Ukraine, and they grew up being very proud to be Ukrainian. And yes, Russian was the language we communicated freely since we were children. And maybe we would come home and still speak Russian, but nevertheless, when it came that sense of pride after 2014 that the people willing to fight for their territory and for the country when it started from the Donbass, then Ukrainian, they say, okay, we'll learn Ukrainian. Sorry, we didn't know Ukrainian before, so a lot of people I know, they had no problem speaking both languages, Ukrainian and Russian. But nevertheless, Putin, he is apparently one of the richest person and the most ignorant person in the world. He decided that money can buy everything, like literally everything. He wanted to destroy Ukraine from the inside. And Ukraine wasn't like in America. You guys have only two parties, right? Republican and Democrat, and they seems not to get along very well for the past year, 2 years, maybe even longer. But that's what apparent. They're not really getting along. Imagine if Putin sponsors small parties in Ukraine. He brings a lot of money, gives those money to very greedy and not honest people, and they try to destroy Ukraine from the inside. But what he was reported that actually everybody is ready for him. Everybody, he had to kind of give them money as a bribe, right? They're waiting for him, and he thought the war will be like 2, 3 days, and it's all done deal. He wasn't ready for such a pushback. He wasn't ready for the patriotism of people in Ukraine. He was not ready for the fact that people willing to give their lives, but not to give away freedom that easily. And it, unfortunately, that fight is for the cost of lives, women, and children. And we here basically with this group, our main purpose is support girls that lost track of their parents maybe already for 11 days, because as you understand, some cities been destroyed more than others, right? So it's very painful. We understand the world. Whoever want to see our point of view basically already joined the fight. So a lot of people came back to Ukraine mad. Force came back to fight. People in Europe, they did a lot of in terms of volunteer, you know, money and shelters and bringing people to their own houses. So a lot of stories with the solid like unity from many people in Europe, and same in America. Because what happened, a lot of immigrant family, like my family, okay, our parents told us, listen, you wanna you wanna try American lifestyle and see the values, go. You know, we will do whatever. Go to America, live your life, live your dream, we support what you wanna do, but we'll stay in Ukraine. And we always wanted to be in touch with our family in Ukraine. We go back and forth. We had no problems, always speak Russian, come back, see our family. My kids growing up in Hawaii for 30 years went so many times to Ukraine. And it was a very relatively happy country with happy people who always had hope for the future. But now, everything that they worked for the last 20 years is completely destroyed. People left their last life, they lost homes, apartments, little cars, little whatever they could put together to call it decent lifestyle. And they still wanna fight because the woman and man voluntarily join army and they go and do whatever in their power. So what I want you to take out of this little small gathering, it's that when we raise our Ukrainian flag, we're totally for the small people who have pride and they don't want to be bullied by one person. That person cannot win, no matter what negotiation is happening on the big level. They negotiate, but the government of Ukraine right now, it seems like sending straight one message only. We don't want any other negotiation. We're not giving up our freedom. That's what's striking everybody. People like, how are you gonna die for your freedom? Yes, they are willing to die for the freedom. And I think people should like get deep inside of their pride and understand when it's a matter of life and death and people choose death and they don't want a ban because somebody like Putin said, you don't exist as a country, you're like nobody, and I will just smash you to the ground, that people willing to stand up. And I would appreciate if whoever has any point of view, maybe without Russian accent, could speak few words and tell me their own opinion. It could be, I know my girls from the Ukrainian slash Russian speaking community were a little bit exhausted watching the news and speaking our heart out to our families, trying to encourage them. What we're trying to do is to tell them the world actually cares and they sympathize and they're actually on their own level, whatever little level. Like today we did a yoga flow sound meditation. To me it's still something. It's better than nothing. It's absolutely better than nothing. But I did witness a lot of unfortunately, I witnessed a lot that people would want to just ignore that problem exists, and they wouldn't want to admit that this is like almost already beginning of the third world. This is like as bad as all the second world war. So please pick up the mic and say a few words, and I will pray for every word you can say.